hang on a
today's
second.
morning I was I was listening to Albi, and he and like Amin, they showed that how some scholars referenced some verses from John as the gospel. So I'm actually interested in that topic. I'm not sure if you can provide me with further content.
Yeah, if you go
Similar
to if you go to Ibn Ishaq says that John wrote the book of John.
and he referenced that, and he showed
Yeah,
from
page
Quran
104. In fact, Travis has it ready right now. He can show you that not only was John called the author of the book of John, but in Ibn Ishaq, he actually tells you who the followers of Jesus are, the disciples. He even quotes Paul. So Paul is included even in the Quran, Surah 36:14, who was strengthened. Two of the disciples of Jesus was strengthened by the third, and that was Bulus, Paul.
So they referenced Paul as
Bulus in Surah 36:14.
a true apostle, and then
So
what he wrote as the gospel, like as the Injil.
I think
There we go. Watch this.
Is it Ibn Taymiyyah or Al-Tabari that quotes from John as well? I can't remember. I'll find the sources in a minute. So this is the earliest biography of Muhammad. It says this in page 104. Apostles sent down for them when he wrote the gospel from the testament of Jesus, son of Mary. Then he goes on and quotes John. Why is John called the gospel author? Now, also on page 653, listen to this. It even mentions the followers of Jesus. Where did they get this from, guys? So it says, those to whom Jesus, son of Mary, sent both the disciples and those who came after him in the land were Peter and Paul with him. Matthew to the land of cannibals, Thomas to the land of Babel, Philip to Carthage, which is in Africa, John to Ephesus, which is the city of the young men of the cave, the sleepers of Ephesus, that's in the Quran, the story that says Jesus is God. James to Jerusalem, and Eliah to the city of the sanctuary, Bartholomew to Arabia, Simon to the land of Berbers, Judah, who was not one of the disciples, but put in the place of Judas. Isn't that wild? Who would we expect to write the Gospels if it wasn't Jesus's followers?
So I have a question. So is this like information accurate?
Okay, so Blake, that's actually why I came up. I gotta stop meeting you guys like this. This is the last time I'll come up. So I'm in the middle of stuff. I'm with my family today. I was able to get a day off. Praise God. But Blake, so that's actually why I came up. So what Muslims will say is that they will say that, oh, well, this narration is da'if because you can't trust everything that Ibn Ishaq said. And Blake, like I know you're very familiar and you're very studied in Islam, so you know about who Ibn Ishaq is, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, good. Who was he succeeded by? Do you know?
I don't understand the question.
Like who came after Ibn Ishaq? Like who was his? I believe it might have been his student. Do you know?
I'm not sure who came after him.
Ibn Hisham.
Is it
Right.
Hisham?
Ibn Hisham.
Or something
Yeah.
Hisham?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is that and this is what the Muslims tell us. And Travis, I'm gonna have you show the page because I don't have it in front of me. But so what the Muslims tell us is that we do not have any complete codices or any completed texts of the earliest biography of Muhammad sallallahu by Ibn Ishaq. What we have is his student was able to like copy what was already written, and that was given to Ibn Hashim did that. So what you're reading is Ibn Hashim copying what Ibn Ishaq has said or what he heard from him. Now, why is this important? Ibn Ishaq and Ibn Hashim, they focus on Tariq, right? They focus on history, like that's their thing. Now, the page Travis is going to read to you, this is in the same book. Note on page 609. For us, please.
Yeah, so he goes on and he talks about that he's like excluded things that which are disgraceful to discuss, matters which would distress certain people, and such reports as al-Bukhari told me could not accept as trustworthy. I have omitted. So notice he leaves in here. It wasn't disgraceful, or it wasn't something that would cause the early Muslims problems, mentioning who the followers of Jesus were and who wrote the Gospels.
Exactly.
They left this in here, and
So-
along with the
so-
satanic verses. But go ahead.
Right. So to put that in context for the people in the chat who may not understand, the Muslims will say when we go to the story of Muhammad tearing apart old women with donkeys, or when we go to the story of Al-Quranic, the satanic verses, which by the way is in the Quran, chapter 2252. We don't even need the sources for it. It's literally in the Quran. Or when we go to what we just read about John being the authentic gospel and being the writer of John on page 103 and 104, they'll go to those and say, well, those are daif. The hadith and other who daif. We don't know it's mursal. But the problem is Ibn Ishaq, he wrote it, but it didn't survive. It was survived through Ibn Hashim, who were both historians, and they both wrote that. The crazy thing is, all of the information that Ibn Hashim found disturbing, as he took it out into that earliest biography. So what does that mean? If we have those stories that you can still find in that book, that means that during that time, they believed that it was sahih, they believed it was authentic, and they could prove it. So when you have the story on page 103 and 104 of John being the authentic gospel and quoting from John chapter 15 through John chapter 16, verse 1, during that time, they believed it was authentic, and they believed that they knew who John was and that he wrote the gospel. So you can find that online, like for free in English and in Arabic. Like it's not hard to find. Babylon or Travis, if you guys wanted to say something, I think Babylon has something on the screen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and God bless everyone.
God bless you.
Amin, Habibi, Paul, Travis, Sajida, Blake. So your question is beautiful, Blake, because in Quran, who are the Hawariyun?
Assalamu
Yeah,
alaikum
the
wa
disciples.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ammu.
I think you might need to
Habibti.
drop that person because he's a minor. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are the Hawariyun?
Basically the disciples.
The disciples. That's a verse in the Quran, chapter 61, verse 14, sorry. 61, verse 14. And here, give me a second.
Jabril came to his door and said, "Stop that! Stop that!"
Hey, Al-Tabari quotes John 20,
Well-
verse 17.
So while I'm just going to take you off the big screen there, Babylon. While you're doing that, Blake, in the Quran.
Give it back. Give it back.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Sorry. Oh, my goodness.
Don't touch my screen.
Sneak in there.
Tafsir al-Qurtubi. Amin and Travis gave you Ibn Hisham, Ibn Ishaq al-Tabari. Qurtubi, another huge scholar. If we go all the way down, what Travis just read, right? Here, guys, let me start from here. What is Travis?
So are you saying that since Al-Tabari referenced Ibn Ishaq
Read.
through Ibn Hashim, then it means even Al-Tabari thought that what Ibn Ishaq did was valid, was like reliable.
And Al-Qurtubi. This is Al-Qurtubi. What are you saying? Read.
Yeah, basically, Ibn Ishaq.
Ibn Ishaq?
The one whom and the followers of Thorus and Paul to Rome, and Andreas.
Paul to where? Paul to where?
Paul was. What do you mean?
It's
Paul
Andreas.
descended to where?
Andreas.
Okay, who sent them?
Yeah, Jesus.
What? But Paul never met Jesus, you Muslims say. That's in your book.
Okay.
Right? And we have all the disciples, guys, all of them one by one to where Jesus sent them. And Blake, I have a gift for you for this year.
Isn't 5%?
Paul is
I
gonna
think you
hear
need
this
to
and
switch
laugh.
off your camera and then charge your phone.
Paul, listen to this, and I mean in Arabic. قال ابن عباس أيد الله الذين آمنوا في زمن عيسى. Blake, what is he saying here, please?
Basically, Allah supported
Who?
like the believers during
In the time of
Jesus'
Jesus.
time. Yeah.
بإظهار. Saying what?
If the live ends, guys, I apologize, but we'll be back. Not
إظهار what?
I mean, you must just see the live on YouTube.
To show, to prove, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Muhammad ala deen al-kuffar. That Muhammad was what?
Yeah.
A kafir.
This is wait, like I want to understand what he meant by that. Did it mean what it appears to mean?
بإظهار Muhammad ala deen al-kuffar. To show or to prove that Muhammad is on the religion of a kuffar. Therefore, Muhammad is a kafir. Ibn Abbas, the cousin of Muhammad, says that, not me.
Apologies, guys, 3%. Please go to my YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. I apologize. Also,
Blake, take a picture.
You guys,
6114, Tafsir Qurtubi.
thanks, bro.
That's your
Really
book.
quick, let's put a ribbon on this, why this is so important. So early Muslim scholars were always quoting our Bible, never referencing something called Jesus Injil. It never existed. They were consistently borrowing our Bible. They had never had a problem with referencing it. It wasn't embarrassing to them, as Brother Amen pointed out. The Quran was leaning its authority on our scriptures and even using it to prop up their religion, which we all know that our book forces a rejection of this religion. James, God bless you, bro.
okay, I want to say
everyone.
something before anything happens. Watch this, Blake. If you go to Quran,
I have a last question.
but hang on, Blake,
which
listen,
is-
listen, Blake. Quran.com. Go to Surah 48:29, and you'll see there's footnotes. Click on footnote 3 and 4. Footnote 4 in Quran.com quotes Matthew and Mark. So you've got Ibn Ishaq confirming John. In Surah 48:29 on Quran.com, they quote Matthew and they quote Mark. Now, if this isn't the Injil, why in the world would they quote people or with Jesus?
And so when they quoted them, like did they say that, okay, we're quoting the gospel now, like we're quoting the Injil?
Let me read it to you, right? This is what it says. Guys, I'm up to 4%. I gained 1% by turning my charger. Listen what it said. It said, I'll just go to where it says footnote 4. It says, if I put my camera on, it'll bugger the whole thing. Do you have a Quran with you right now? Can you go to Quran.com? Babylon.
I
Travis,
actually
can you
have
go?
2 physical Qurans next to me and then my laptop.
Yeah, we'll go to the laptop and we'll go to 48 Quran.com 48:29.
I'm jumping on James really quick. Sorry, bro. I thought you were getting ready to leave.
No, bro. If it stays on, it stays on.
Okay.
If you can, one of you can just put on the camera. So it's Quran.com 48:29.
I got you.
48:29.
Yeah.
Second.
And until like someone puts that verse, like the scholars think that like basically they have manuscripts from the time of Muhammad.
I got it.
Okay,
Like
watch this, Blake. Can you go to footnote 4?
Okay, 4. Then it comes standing on firmly in its stem and delighted in the planters. Oh, they're quoting from Matthew 13.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Blake, the question is, why would they go to Matthew 13 to quote something? Well, if you look at the Arabic, it's talking about the Injil, right? The Arabic says that if you look at the Arabic, it says the Injil. Now, why to quote from the Injil would they go to Matthew and Mark?
So okay, yeah, makes sense. And my question is like, when the person who did the tafsir quoted, like, did he say that like this is the Injil, or he just quoted a book and he did not say what that book is?
No, he just gave you a footnote, and the reference took you from the Injil to the New Testament. See, what they did is the verse actually says
This is so interesting.
The Torah and the similitude in the Injil.
This is so interesting because like before, like those discussions, what is the Injil, I was like, well, the Muslims' position makes sense if they wanted to, like, basically to claim that the Injil is corrupted. But then when you see the early scholars quoting those the four gospels, then
exactly,
you should probably question that claim, or actually understand like what it actually means, because
now, you know
it
what the Quranic dilemma
definitely
is,
doesn't
Blake.
mean total corruption. It doesn't, like, it definitely doesn't mean that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, James, we also have reports of Muhammad taking words of Jesus and attributing them to himself, like out of the book of John.
Sorry, Charles, one more thing.
Okay.
I'm up to 6%, guys, so something's working. Praise
We're
God.
climbing. You got the camera off. So we know that Jesus is just professed as God in John chapter 20. Thomas says, "My Lord and my God." Jesus just resurrects from the dead, right? Jesus said to them, "Have you believed me because you've seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen me and yet believed." Muhammad takes this and attributes it to himself, the words of Jesus in Musnad Ahmed 12578. "Blessed are those who had faith in me and saw me, but blessed even more are those who had faith in me and never saw me." We constantly see
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, hold